Hello YouTube. Today we have the Ryobi wand again. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the teardown process. Before, a lot of YouTubers were having difficulty getting the retaining clip out. They were asking a lot of questions, so I decided to go ahead and just make another video where I go through the teardown. First step is just remove all the screws, the easiest part. Next up, you're gonna see the wand, and here's the trigger. Here's the wand itself, and here's the valve. Now, this has O-rings in there which need to be lubricated if you saw the first video. But the problem is, how do you get this clip off, right? That's the difficulty having. The way you do is that you have to bend these tabs up or away from this groove that's in there. If you look at this carefully, there's a little groove in there. Let me see if I can. Right there, you see it? There's a groove right there. And that clip is wedged in there in the groove. So we need to get that and bend it away so this clip could come off. Now the way I did it is with a jeweler screwdriver. This one. It can't be something small skinny like this because it's going to get bent. And now you need to wedge this inside, right? The spring. But the thing is that this spring actually coils up to here. So you need to go reach in there, inside, underneath here, go bend the spring down or compress the spring, and then pivot up so you could bend this clip out, the tip of this clip, away from the from that groove. Now the biggest hurdle you're gonna have is getting this in there, so you have to make sure you get to the bottom of the spring. I have to put this on the bench, and you have to go all the way down. And now when you get to the bottom of the spring, you'll know because it'll pop out. See, I didn't get it there. I have to go all the way down in there. See right there? I did not get it. See the spring? There's still one more coil in there. So you have to go underneath that coil. If you don't, you can always turn this. See if you get a better angle. If we don't get it in that coil, it's going to be hard to take it off. See if we can do it. There you go. See the coil? So you have to go under the coil. So here's a perfect spot where the coil ends. And now we're going to go ahead and, it's going to be hard to capture because we're trying to focus and yet not be so far away where you see what I'm doing. So I have a screwdriver in the tip, which, that triangle right there, part that's in the groove, and you need to try to bend that outward so I can, so I'm trying to bend it off the, see right there? It just went out of the groove. Right there, you see it? Now I did do some of the other ones earlier, so that way I'm not doing this for 5 minutes. So I'm bending these slowly up. So if you see that, so if you look at it, actually all of them are out of the groove now. So what I did is I put the screwdriver, make sure this is in focus for you guys, put the screwdriver under, then I bent each one of these a little bit up past the groove. I went one by one around, and now this comes off. There you go. See it? So this is what we're dealing with right here. So this goes like this. Here's that retaining clip, and it goes like that. And now what you're doing is you're trying to go underneath the spring. So in other words, you want the screwdriver, pretend this is the part, this is the top part. You want to go in here, then you want to pivot this way, put it sideways like this. You want to put it in like this. You want to pivot like this. You want the edge of the screwdriver to catch these corners right here. This corner right here. See it? Like that. So as you pivot like this, you're bending this out, away from the groove. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. So you're going like this, basically. Like this. And that's going to cause this. It's going to cause this corner to go past the groove, because you're going to bend these a little bit. Okay? So once you remove the spring and the retaining clip, this is going to come out. I'm going to pop it out. I pushed it in. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a little help, and there it is. Here is the magical O-rings. See it? There are the O-rings. And if you look at it, let's make sure I can focus in there. So here are the O-rings. So these are not broken. I did lubricate these a while back. I think over a year or two. And no, they're not broken or anything. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and lubricate the O-rings again. You know, I think if you do this in a regular maintenance cycle, you probably will never have problems with this. So we're just going to go ahead and get the super lube. Let's go ahead and apply it on there. And you know, you could use as much as you want. The more the merrier. I think once a year. I mean, it just depends how much time you use it. I'll put a whole bunch on it. It's not gonna do any harm. Putting more than what you need to, but okay, so there we go. So it's lubricated. Okay, so that's lubricated. Now we're just gonna insert it back in here. Okay, and let's go ahead and push it in. I have these nut drivers. So you're gonna go ahead and get it and push it in. Like that. It's in all the way. Now if you want, you can try it out, see if it's going in and out. Okay. It is going in and out okay. If you want to push it out, you can, just to look at it. You just want to be careful with see? Still has some lube on it, so we'll just spread a little bit more. And then we're just going to stick it back in there. Drop it in. And we're going to push it in. There you go. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one right here. Push it in. I'm pushing it in. And okay, so it's lubricated. Doesn't get stuck. No binding. Okay, so now we got to put everything back together. That's the hardest part is removing the clip. Now, we have to inspect the clip. Let's look at it. Okay, you see it? Now, if you notice, it's a little bent. Some of these, what are they called, detents or pie shape cuts, they're bent too far up. So we have to bend it a little bit down so it can fall into the clip. So then what you could do is that you can get a hammer and just knock it down a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm not hitting it hard. Okay. So if you notice, those little gaps have closed in a little bit. There's like little gaps in between each one, and that's closed up. So let's see. So now we have to put this back together. But guess what? If you try to insert it like this, the plunger is going to go down. So that's why you need something, anything you have around the house where it fits in here and it's going to go right there where the plunger is. See it right there? So this is perfect. It goes in there. And now when I go ahead and install the clip back on, retaining clip, I can go ahead, it's not gonna fall out from the bottom. So in this step, what I did is I got another one of these that fits on top of it. See it? So this is gonna go on top. Let me show you because I wanna make sure I'm thorough. I understand everybody doesn't have the same skill level. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on top, retaining clip. I'm gonna hit it with a hammer. So I could just insert this back around that ridge, right? That's around the top part of the plunger. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and, there you go. See it? It's back in. Okay, so take a look at it. It is back in. See it? No damage to it. It's all the way in there. And now, let me use this because it's kind of hard to push it in with your bare finger. See it? It's going in and out. Not getting stuck. Nothing got damaged. The O-rings were good. So the next step is we're just going to go ahead and put it back in here. Okay. There you go. Now let's see if I can do this without closing it. Okay. So if you notice, I'm just holding this down. It goes up and down with no issues. Of course, I have to assemble it. So if you want to see it assembled without the screws, we can do that. Go ahead and just press this in. Okay. Look at that, perfect. Doesn't get stuck. If you look at the plunger in there, let me see if you can see it. It's going in and out, nice and smooth, not stuck, nothing's broken. And that's how you do it. It's simple, I guess, if you know the steps. And I think that in order to make this last, and if you can't get the O-rings, the best thing to do is just take this apart whenever you think it needs it. Maybe for you it's every 6 months, maybe it's every year. Lubricate the O-rings, and that way it's always functional.